Karl von Drais and the invention that changed movement. The bicycle is often regarded as one of the simplest machines ever invented, yet its history tells a far richer story, one of experimentation, human ingenuity, and the gradual refinement of ideas over time. Rather than appearing fully formed, the bicycle evolved through decades of trial and error, shaped by social needs, technological limitations, and changing perceptions of mobility. From its earliest wooden ancestor to the chain-driven design that still dominates today, the bicycle's development reflects a broader narrative of how innovation truly works, step by step, mistake by mistake, improvement by improvement. The origins of the bicycle can be traced back to the early 19th century, a period marked by rapid social and economic transformation in Europe. Urban populations were growing, roads were improving, and people were beginning to seek new ways to travel more efficiently on land. Against this backdrop, the earliest recognizable ancestor of the bicycle emerged in 1817, when Karl von Drais, a German baron and inventor, introduced a curious two-wheeled machine known as the Draisian. Constructed largely of wood, this device featured two wheels aligned in a straight line, with a steerable front wheel and a simple frame that allowed the rider to sit astride it. Crucially, however, it had no pedals. Movement depended entirely on the rider pushing against the ground with their feet, much like an accelerated form of walking. At first glance, the Draisian might seem primitive or even impractical, yet its importance cannot be overstated. For the first time, balance on two inline wheels was demonstrated as a viable concept. This was not a trivial achievement. Maintaining equilibrium on such a narrow base required a new understanding of motion, steering, and body control. Although the Draisian offered limited speed and comfort, it established the fundamental principle upon which all future bicycles would be built: dynamic balance through forward motion. In this sense, the invention was less a finished product than a proof of concept, a bold experiment that invited further refinement. As the 19th century progressed, inventors and mechanics across Europe sought ways to improve upon this basic idea. The most significant early breakthrough came around the 1860s, when pedals were added directly to the front wheel. This innovation is commonly associated with the French inventors Michaud, who transformed the foot-powered running machine into what became known as the velocipede. By attaching pedals to the front wheel hub, riders could now propel the vehicle without touching the ground, marking a decisive shift from assisted walking to true mechanical propulsion. The velocipede represented a crucial step forward, but it also revealed new challenges. Because the pedals were fixed to the front wheel, speed depended on the wheel's size and the rider's cadence. Steering and propulsion were now linked, making control difficult, especially on uneven surfaces. The ride itself was notoriously uncomfortable due to rigid frames and poor road conditions, earning early velocipedes the unflattering nickname "bone shakers." Yet despite these shortcomings, the velocipede demonstrated the immense potential of pedal-powered transport. It proved that human energy could be efficiently converted into forward motion through mechanical means, setting the stage for more ambitious designs. In the following decades, the pursuit of speed became a defining theme in bicycle development. This ambition culminated in the rise of the high-wheel bicycle during the 1870s, commonly referred to as the penny farthing. Characterized by an enormous front wheel and a much smaller rear wheel, this design sought to overcome the limitations of direct drive pedaling. Since each rotation of the pedals turned the front wheel once, increasing the wheel's diameter allowed riders to travel farther with each pedal stroke, dramatically boosting speed. From an engineering perspective, the penny farthing was a logical solution to the problem of efficiency. In practice, however, it introduced serious safety concerns. Riders sat high above the ground, with their weight positioned almost directly over the front axle. Sudden stops or obstacles could easily send them tumbling forward in dangerous falls. Mounting and dismounting required agility and confidence, effectively restricting the bicycle to young, physically capable men. Despite these risks, the penny farthing enjoyed a period of popularity, especially among enthusiasts who viewed speed and daring as symbols of progress and modernity. The limitations of the high wheel design ultimately underscored an important lesson in technological evolution. Greater performance often comes at the cost of usability and safety. True progress requires balance, not merely the pursuit of extremes. This realization paved the way for what would become the most transformative development in the history of the bicycle, the introduction of the so-called safety bicycle in the late 19th century. The safety bicycle emerged through the convergence of several key innovations rather than a single moment of invention. One of the most important was the use of a chain-driven transmission system, allowing power to be transferred from pedals to the rear wheel. This concept is frequently linked to the work of Lawson, who experimented with rear-wheel drive designs in the late 1970s. By separating pedaling from steering, the chain drive solved many of the control issues that plagued earlier bicycles. Riders could now maintain stability while generating power more efficiently. Equally significant was the development of metal-spoked wheels, often associated with Eugene Meyer. Spoked wheels offered a remarkable combination of strength and lightness, enabling bicycles to be both durable and responsive. Combined with frames that placed the rider lower and between two wheels of equal size, these advances dramatically improved safety and comfort. For the first time, bicycles were accessible to a much broader segment of the population, including women and older riders, who had previously been excluded by the dangers and physical demands of earlier designs. The emergence of the safety bicycle in the 1880s and 1890s marked what many historians describe as a golden age of cycling. Its basic configuration, two wheels of equal size, a chain-driven rear wheel, handlebars for steering, and a stable seating position, remains largely unchanged to this day. This was not merely a triumph of mechanical design, but a social revolution. The bicycle became a practical means of everyday transportation, offering unprecedented personal mobility at a relatively low cost. Beyond its mechanical merits, the bicycle reshaped society in subtle yet profound ways. It expanded the physical range of ordinary people, allowing them to travel farther for work, education, and leisure. It reduced dependence on animals and later on fuel-based transport, foreshadowing modern concerns about sustainability and environmental impact. In many countries, the bicycle played a role in social movements, particularly in advancing personal independence and challenging traditional norms, as individuals gained greater control over where and how they moved. What makes the story of the bicycle especially compelling is that its success did not come from complexity, but from refinement. Each stage of its evolution addressed the shortcomings of the previous one. The Draisian solved the problem of balance. The velocipede introduced mechanical propulsion. The penny farthing explored speed and efficiency, and the safety bicycle reconciled performance with accessibility and safety. This gradual progression illustrates a fundamental truth about innovation. Transformative technologies often emerge not from sudden genius, but from patient, iterative improvement. Today, the bicycle is widely celebrated as one of the most efficient machines ever created. It converts human energy into motion with extraordinary effectiveness, requires minimal resources to produce and maintain, and operates without pollution. Yet these modern virtues are rooted in a long history of experimentation and adaptation. Understanding that history deepens our appreciation of the bicycle not merely as a tool, but as a symbol of human problem-solving. From a wooden hobby horse propelled by running feet to a refined chain-driven vehicle capable of effortless travel, the bicycle's journey mirrors the broader arc of technological progress. It reminds us that even the most familiar objects carry within them stories of ambition, failure, and perseverance. The bicycle did not simply change how people moved, it changed how they thought about movement itself, making freedom, efficiency, and balance part of everyday life.